Run your thumb around a quarter. Feel those tiny ridges. They were not for style. They were invented to stop people shaving silver off your money. Once, that simple edge helped save whole economies. Let's check why your pocket change still wears armor. Look at a quarter or a dime. See the sharp grooves around the edge. Here is the plain question. Why do coins have ridges at all? The short tease is this. They are a 300-year-old anti-fraud device. They made a quiet promise. If you steal a sliver, everyone can tell. Here is the trick people used to pull. It was called coin clipping. You take a sharp blade and just shave a thin, tiny ring from the rim. You keep the precious metal. You spend the slightly smaller coin at full value. If the edge looks messy, you just pass it on fast and hope no one checks. One tiny trim is nothing. But that trim, multiplied by thousands of coins, adds up to a fortune. And for centuries, coins were ridiculously easy targets. They were hammered by hand, one at a time, which made them a bit lumpy and off-center. The edges were always irregular, so a missing slice didn't exactly scream for attention. By the 1690s in England, the problem was a full-blown crisis. In letters to Parliament and angry pamphlets, people claimed that many silver coins had lost a fifth, sometimes even half their legal weight. Now, not every coin was a disaster, but enough were being shaved down that prices wobbled, taxes became impossible to collect, and the whole engine of trade started to jam. The fix arrived with machines. Mechanized coin making could press perfect circles over and over. This is called milled coinage. The big idea was simple. If you can make a perfectly round coin, you can give it a perfectly detailed edge. And that edge can announce to the world if it's been touched. If you decorate the rim with a pattern or cut ridges into it, any trimming becomes glaringly obvious. Picture a planchet. That's a blank disc of metal. A powerful screw press strikes it with clean designs on both faces. Then, a special collar or a rolling tool squeezes a pattern into the rim as it's being struck. Now the edge is part of the security. If someone steals metal from the rim, the missing pattern tells on them. It's like a safety seal on a jar. Break it, and everyone knows. Now, England was actually late to this party. Over on the continent, places like Spain had been using machines for decades. But England's leap forward came with a fight. In 1662, a French engineer named Pierre Blondeau arrived in London. People just called him Peter. He brought with him the new technology, milling presses and edging machines that promised perfect, uniform coins. And, crucially, he had the backing of the king, Charles II, who was tired of his country's money being so easy to vandalize. The old guard hated it. The traditional moneyers who hammered coins by hand saw this new machine as a threat to their entire craft and their income. Hand-hammered coins also conveniently disguised any clipping that might be going on. So they resisted. There were ugly rows, political maneuvering, and a lot of shouting. But in the end, the king sided with Blondeau. England started striking smooth, regular milled coins. And the new coins had a message right on the edge. The big silver crowns from 1663 had a Latin motto stamped around the rim. It said, DECVS et TUTAMEN. That means, an ornament and a safeguard. It was not subtle. The beautiful edge itself was the ornament, but it was also the alarm bell. If a crook shaved off any letters, you could see exactly where they'd been. Even with the new tech, the tidal wave of old, clipped money was still out there. By the mid-1690s, England's currency was a wreck, and Parliament called for a total reset. The monumental job landed at the Royal Mint, and the man put in charge of the operation was its warden, Isaac Newton. Yes, that Isaac Newton. He set up a kind of production line at the Tower of London. From 1696 to 1699, the Great Recoinage took place. Around £6 million worth of old, damaged silver was melted down and remade. It cost the state a fortune, but it rebuilt trust in the money itself. The fresh coins that came pouring out of the mint all had a consistent weight and crisp, secure edges. Some had lettering. Others had the firm ridges we now call reeding. The message to the public was clear. The weight is back, and this time it's protected. Try to steal from the rim now, and you will get caught. And Newton backed it up by relentlessly hunting down counterfeiters and clippers. He was serious about it. Meanwhile, Spain's famous pillar dollar was becoming the world's favorite currency. Also called the 8 reales, it took over global trade from 1732 onward. Its secret? A rock-solid, consistent weight and a beautiful, distinctive corded edge. People called that edge the cordoncillo. It looked like a tiny, twisted rope, and it worked like a charm. Merchants trusted those coins across oceans. From Seville to Mexico City to Canton, that rope-like edge told the truth. Traders even punched little chop marks into them to personally vouch for their authenticity. Those marks were like signatures. But if the edge was shaved, nobody would touch it. The trust was so strong that people would literally cut them into wedge-shaped chunks for small change. 2 bits was $0.25. You would never dare do that with a clipped, untrustworthy coin. The brand new United States copied the idea from the very beginning. The first American silver dollars, made in the 1790s, used edge lettering. They spelled out a full sentence around the rim. 100 cents, $1, or unit. It wrapped the entire coin in a 360-degree warning. Cut into it, and you literally broke the promise. As machines got more common, those simple ridges, or reeds, became the standard for smaller coins. In the 1820s and 1830s, quarters and dimes in the U.S. adopted reeded rims. And it was not for fashion. It was a simple, effective theft alert. A pre-1965 quarter weighed 6¼ grams and was 90% silver. Shaving even a tiny fraction of a gram off was real money. The ridges made that kind of theft easy to spot. Here is a fun nudge while we are in your pocket. If you like these hidden backstories in everyday things, subscribe and poke around the channel. There is a whole world of tiny design choices that solved big problems. Back to the edges. So, in 1965, when the U.S. took the silver out of dimes and quarters, why did the ridges stay? First, vending machines had already learned to feel coins by their edge. The specific texture and thickness told the machine what you just fed it. And second, it turned out to be a great accessibility feature. People could easily tell a dime from a penny by touch. That helps in your pocket, in the dark, and it's essential for people with low or no vision. There is also a bit of nerd candy in the official specs. A U.S. dime has 118 reeds. The quarter has 119. The half-dollar has 150. These counts come from old mint standards, but they're legacy numbers that both machines and people still rely on. They turn a small piece of metal into something a sensor can read. And the idea is still evolving. Modern coins use their edges to fight high-tech counterfeiters. In 2017, the United Kingdom launched a new 12-sided £1 coin. Its edge has alternating milled segments and micro-lettering. It is the same old goal, just with much sharper tools. Make any tampering, any fakery, show up instantly. But of course, the story doesn't end there. You can't invent a perfect lock without someone immediately trying to invent a better lockpick. The milled edge was a brilliant security feature, but it just started a new chapter in the arms race between the mint and the crooks. Clipping was crushed, yes. If you tried to shave a reeded coin, it was like leaving a signed confession. So, fraudsters had to get creative. A new trick was called sweating. They'd throw coins in a leather bag and shake it for hours. The friction would rub off a fine dust of silver which they'd collect, while the coins just looked a little worn. Others just cast crude fakes from cheaper metals. The reeded edge wasn't a magic wall. It was one powerful layer of defense in a bigger system. Perfectly consistent weights, secret metal alloys, complex designs, and of course, the constant, terrifying threat of Isaac Newton personally sending you to the gallows. So here is your dinner table line. Hold up a quarter and run your nail along the ridges. You are feeling a tiny alarm system from the 1600s. Some of the first British coins to use it even said so, right on the edge, in Latin. DECVS et TUTAMEN, an ornament and a safeguard. The edge is pretty, but it's also a lock. Smile at this thought. The ridges on your soda money are ghosts of silver. They now keep a vending machine honest and help your fingers sort change without looking. The old fix still earns its keep. If you enjoy the hidden origins of ordinary stuff, stick around. Subscribe and drop a like if this one made you go, "Wait, that is why?" There are more little backstories on the channel. Thanks for hanging out, and see you next time.